Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. It's Wade T. Lightheart from Bioptimizers with another edition of the Awesome Health Podcast. And today we are going to talk about how to develop a strong belief and mindset to heal naturally. And we have joining us today on the podcast, Dr. Aaron Tressler, who is a chiropractor, entrepreneur, and health expert of 30 years, owner of Innate Life, Tressler Chiropractic. He specializes in revitalizing life to the fullest naturally with chiropractic care, nutrition, exercise, and mental strength. As the host of Making Pittsburgh Healthy podcast, it is his goal to educate, inspire, and provide practical application of natural health options in his community. He is also the author of 5 books, member of the Pennsylvania State Chiropractic Board, a coach and weight loss specialist. Suffering through childhood sickness and many severe injuries, including 2 rotator cuff tears, broken ribs 3 times, torn medial meniscus, and a broken scapula at age 49, Dr. Tressler is living proof that the body has innate healing ability as he still plays rugby at age 54. And if you've ever played rugby, that is definitely a he-man. It's not a man sport, it's a he-man sport. That is a very rough and violent and physical sport. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today, Dr. Aaron, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Wade. I am excited to be here. I feel your energy. I have the same energy coming right back at you. So this is going to be a high energy show. It's a lot of fun. And I love the name of your podcast. I'm like, you better trademark that. I'm like, that's the Awesome Health Podcast. I'm like, that's awesome. So I'm excited to be here.
Thanks so much. So I've been a big fan of chiropractic care for so many years. And you know, I think there's a lot of people. I want to dive into that first before we get into the natural stuff, because chiropractic care transformed my life. It allowed me to be able to perform physically far beyond my normal career, I believe. My capabilities as a guy that's almost 50 now is, I think, certainly ahead of the game. If you look at most top athletes, they use chiropractic care. You see the NFL guys on the sideline getting corked and the guy adjusting them on the sidelines. And there's a lot of people out there who say, though, oh, I went to a bad chiropractor, or that those guys are quacks or whatever. I want to take that right off the table first. And what got you into chiropractic care, and why do you feel that it's so important for people's long-term health?
That's a great question. And there is a lot of misinformation. And when I was a kid growing up, we never went to the doctor. If I got hurt, my mom patched me up, maybe gave me a piece of tissue and said, just get out of here.
Totally.
So but I was sick. I wet my bed till I was 9. I had stomach issues in 4th grade, all the way to high school, right? IBS. And back then it was just diarrhea. I had allergies, sinus trouble. So I was living off these over-the-counter meds. One day I bent over, I can't move. Well, a buddy played baseball with me on our team. He went to a chiropractor who adjusted his back to help his foot. When I heard that, I'm like, Dave, that's just weird. But when I couldn't stand up, the pain was excruciating. I was 17 years old. It was after football season. I said, Dad, I think we need to go see this chiropractor. Well, I went. He adjusted me, but didn't explain anything. Didn't do any tests, didn't take any x-rays. I left that day feeling absolutely amazing. I thought he gave me a drug. I mean, I'm an ADHD person ever since I could walk. I went home and I slept in a chair for like 2 hours. I'm like, wow, whatever this guy did was cool. But he told me, Aaron, if you're in pain, come back. If not, you're good. Well, I was out of pain. 5 years, Wade, I didn't have pain. However, I was always sick. Then my dad died at age 50 from a heart attack. And it was a couple years after my dad took me to the chiropractor. Well, I just didn't understand, like, why would he die at age 50? And kind of a fast forward is years later, I'm a health and phys ed teacher in Florida, playing rugby. My back does it again to me. I go through the medical procedures, nothing works. See a chiropractor, he takes an x-ray, shows me imbalance, and then explains these nerves in your low back, they go and they cause pain. but they also go to your internal organs like your bowels and your bladder. Boom. I thought, you've got to be kidding me. A pinched nerve can cause pain, but a pinched nerve can block organ function. I was blown away, and I was looking to get out of teaching. God led my path. I went right into chiropractic. And, when we look at the spine and the nerve system, it's connected to the brain. It just runs everything. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. It's anatomy. And we need to take care of our structure, our alignment, to optimize our body function, our nerve function, which it all ties in. So when I hear, I went to a bad chiropractor, I'm like, so what? I've been to a bad dentist. I've been to a bad doctor. I've had bad teachers. It doesn't mean you close the book. That's a quitter. That's someone that's just making an excuse. If I want to be well, I will study, train, and keep pushing until I find somebody that can help me. And if you had a bad one, let it go find a good one. And so I train real hard in my office to be the best and to offer the education and the experience that patients really understand why this is so vital. So
beautifully said. And I think once again, it's interesting how so often, and it's happened in my own life, how a complex event or a tragedy or an illness or something often leads so many of the best healers to a career in that field. So as you got into the field as chiropractic, there's a lot of different types of chiropractors. There's soft tissues, there's network, there's kind of the old school crackers. Like, how would you classify the way that you go about addressing somebody in whatever challenges they might experience? And what would you say is, your branch in your field? Because I think a lot of people are unaware that there's a whole, just like the medical field has different types of doctors, there's different types of chiropractors, et cetera. How would you classify yourself?
In school, I was playing rugby. So I played at Life University, and very competitive school, and I was getting banged up. So I liked the hands-on adjusting. That's just worked best with me. I tried other techniques. It worked best with me. And when I got under care there, my back healed, and then all my sickness healed. I learned nutrition. I learned how to exercise better and so forth. And the whole mind thing came as I kind of developed these injuries and belief through my years of practice. But I saw my wife that had 23 years of asthma get under care, and it was gone in 3 months. I said, we were going to have kids. We're just newly married. Will this work for our kids? Can we keep our kids from getting sick? So I looked at family care, pediatric care, the whole way through. But I'm a hands-on guy. I look at x-ray and posture and alignment to take in balances or weaknesses and help them, support them, improve them. So when I take a post x-ray or post-test, we actually see the x-ray getting better and the alignment getting stronger, the discs opening up, the twists to the spine, realigning and correcting. So I don't base it on how you feel. I'm basing on tests, and especially x-ray, to say your x-ray has improved. I don't care how you feel. I want you to feel better, but I want the body to function and improve. That's via my tests and my x-rays. So when I see that and the patient sees that, they realize, holy crap, I really am getting better. And that happens every day in our office. So that's my line of thing. And I do some light stuff. I love people that work out, take nutrition, but we practice a lot of that here. But the key in my office is teaching how important the nerve system is in the spine, because it's the nerve system that runs your body. And we just neglect, we'd never hear this until, like yourself, you find a chiropractor, it changes your viewpoint, and then you start applying it and realize, wow, I can lift better. When I get injured, I heal faster. I don't have permanent injury or scar tissue because I stay adjusted and I take care of my body. This is just crazy. So we kind of cover everything, but I'm more of a hands-on guy. Get in there, let's get the work done, and let's do this for life.
That's great. And I think that, I remember my dad explaining engines to me a long time ago. And he said, there's really two problems that go wrong with your engine. It's either gas or fire. And as the years have passed in the health industry, it's very similar. in the human body. Most of what we learn in school, though, is the chemical structure, the gas, like how the chemical. But I believe that chiropractic is like the fire, the way the electricity travels up and down through the spine and innervates all the different organs of the body, the muscles of the body. There's some indication that the muscles, movement of the muscles actually electrically charges the organs and vice versa. So it's very fascinating, this entire field, and I never get tired studying it. I want to dive right into an area that I know is really important when you read your bio, is that you've had some significant injuries, certainly to the extent that you would think, how is a guy at 54 playing rugby after all of these injuries? And I think it's related to how you address them naturally. Can you explain to our listeners how you've been able to overcome athletic injuries that would just really just end people's careers? Like, there's half a dozen on your list here, yet you're still able to play a very physically contact sport when most people are like, trying not to fall down the stairs. like what's going on here?
Yeah. And that's where my process through all these injuries, and I'll explain this, has built an extremely high level of belief. And that has to come first. If you don't have the belief that you can get well, and you don't have somebody teaching you and kind of pulling you up to holding their arm and saying, what, we can do this, you can heal. If you don't get the belief, nothing else comes, because you won't perform action steps. So in chiropractic school, first time I broke my ribs, it took me about a month or 6 weeks to actually get back out running and lifting weights. And then through the years, through school, through practice, when I got out of school and moved back to the Pittsburgh area, I didn't know we had rugby. We had a young family, 2 young kids. And all of a sudden I see a rugby team and I'm like, oh crap, I got to play this. It's in my blood. So I continued playing for I played rugby for about 30 years off and on. And I've had 3 times I broke my ribs. And this isn't all through rugby. I have a farm, and some of it I just fell on my farm and got hurt. Wrote 2 rotator cuff tears, torn meniscus on my knee. And as I was going through these injuries, the one time when I tore my rotator cuff, I was a team captain. We were heading into the playoffs. For the first time, our team, we have a small team, was going to the playoffs. I get hurt by my own guy at practice, and they said, how soon can you be back? We got playoffs in about 3 weeks. I said, give me 2 weeks and I'll be back. And I couldn't wait. I couldn't lift my arm from my side. It was probably a grade 2 tear. They would have probably said surgery. And I just blocked it. I said, I've healed from all these other things, all these previous injuries, small injuries. I'm going to heal from this. So immediately while I was in my practice, I would take a 2-pound weight, 3-pound weight bands and just do thousands of repetitions every day. I was getting adjusted. So my nerves traveling to my shoulder had 100% output to generate healing. I ate a very clean, healthy diet, no inflammation, no sugar, took some supplements. And I knew, if you asked me, are you going to play? There was no doubt. I'm like, yeah, give me 2 weeks and I'll play. 2 weeks, I went out, we played. I couldn't hit with that shoulder, but I could pass, run, do everything. And we went into the playoffs. We ended up losing in the playoffs, but I played the season. And at that point, I'm like, wow, I just healed a rotator cuff in 2 weeks. This is unheard of. So I started to step away from traditional medical thinking, physical therapy thinking. And there's been a lot of evolved over the last 10, 20 years where it takes 6 to 8 weeks. Keep it in a sling. Don't do anything. Be gentle. Don't irritate it. Go home, rest. Mine was just the opposite. I'm like, son of a gun, I'm going to move and I'm going to push myself to the very limit every day. And I'm going to believe. And I think if I didn't have the belief, nothing would have transpired this way, and that I can heal. So then a few years later, I break my ribs on my farm. I walk in the house and again, I'm holding my chest and my wife, what happened? I broke my ribs. I said, give me an ice pack. She goes, oh God. I said, well, I got rugby in 2 weeks, hon. We're kicking off the season. She goes, not again, please. I mean, she's seen me live through these.
Right.
And I said, oh yeah, iced it, exercise, movement, 2 weeks, played the first game. I was fine. So as I'm seeing this play out in my life, I realized the body is more capable to heal than we ever imagined. But we have to have the belief, and we have to have very strong action steps. I worked through pain. I'm sure you understand this. I mean, you've had pain and problems in your life.
Mhm.
You worked through it because
I got a shoulder tweak right now, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm working through it. You know, it's just like go in and work around it. I was messing around with my weights and my bands. It's like, okay, how much movement can I get in this shoulder? And you know, it's starting to get better.
It's one of those things that you may not be able to do a shoulder press, but you can do a lateral row or a row or a chest. So you do what you can, but when you know you can do it, you do it to a max. I mean, I was doing thousands of repetitions a day. So then 5 years ago, 49, I'm out on a bike ride. My tire comes off. I was going about 30 miles an hour down a hill. And I hit right down on my right side of my head, my shoulder. And the pain was I wanted to die. We took me to the hospital, and my wife's like, "You sure you want to go to the hospital?" Because I hate going to the hospital. I'm like, this time I have to. They wanted to put me on opioids, and I said, absolutely not. I said, are you crazy? And
totally.
I said, I'll do some ibuprofen, whatever it takes, but I'm not. So that day I go home. I have a friend come to my house. He adjusts my neck. Immediately, I want to get nerve flow flowing. The next day, the surgeon says no surgery, which I had already in my mind that I wasn't doing surgery. I was going to heal. I said, can I get it out of the sling? Am I allowed to use this? He said, yeah, absolutely. His advice was just don't do a pull-up. And I said, that's bad advice because I can't even lift my arm. I mean, what kind of advice is that? So I kind of closed his book and his recommendations. And I said, let me look this up online. So I looked online, prognosis for anyone breaking a scapula, really bad news. It's going to take up to a year to heal. It may take a year to do a push-up. I was reading all these horror stories. And again, I closed the computer and I said, this isn't their story. This is my story. This isn't their body. This is my body. I believe I can heal. The next day, and as I was reading the Bible, God confirmed that I'm going to be strong. And I told my wife, I said, hon, I'm playing rugby again. And I'm not even out of the sling. This is day 2. Pain is excruciating. She goes, are you insane? And I said, maybe I am, but I'm going to prove to you that my kids, I have 5 kids, my patients, that the body can heal. I've done it before. I'm doing it. So I went on a journey, and my mind was first. I trained my mind every day. I meditated on, I'm healing. I saw myself strong. I saw myself running and tackling, lifting weights. I started training. I started getting my arm out of the sling. I did everything left-handed. So I couldn't use my right arm. So I lifted as heavy as I could left-handed because that supplies energy to the opposite side, to the nerve system. I did legs. I started walking. I started jogging with a sling. 2 months, I ran a 5K race with my son. We did it in about 21 minutes. So I wasn't just out there just walking. And in 5 months, I benched 225. And I knew at that point, I'm done. I'm healed. I'm playing rugby in the spring. And I played rugby at 8 months after breaking it. And ever since then, my belief has even gone stronger that God created an amazing body. It can heal. We have to believe, but we have to take the action steps. Many of us say, excuse me, I believe I can heal, but we don't work out for 2 hours a day.
Right.
We don't take supplements. We go eat garbage food and we hope we heal, but we never do what's necessary. And I don't have any residual pain. My strength now is better than it was before I broke it. Full range of motion. And I carry that through to all my patients, my belief. And this is what I carry through to my podcast is the body's incredible. We just have to believe it and work with it.
Beautiful. I want to go back a little bit just in that first. I love the fact that you clarified the importance of belief in healing, because it's kind of like your reticular activating system. If you buy a red Chevy and all of a sudden you see every red Chevy on the world or whatever. Yeah. Like it's you get what you focus on, and there's a lot of focus in the world, particularly in I would say, the medical industry that's very negative, and, you're not going to be able to do this, and you're going to have to make adjustments, and you're going to have to take medication, which dulls the nervous system response, actually slows healing. But I want to back up to this particular point, which you indicated in the process of healing, which is you started doing what you could do. So what is the gauges that you use? For example, okay, so let's say my shoulders hurt and I can get it to here, right? So what is the process to you that I'm going to go right to that pain point, or try and go a little bit beyond, or like how do you break that down systematically through the healing process of stimulating that area with electrical flow, which brings blood and nutrients and that sort? I want to kind of get into that for a little bit.
That's a great question, because I think this is where we drop the ball as doctors, as teachers, as coaches, because we're afraid to push people through that limit. And right. I want to take a step back too. When I was in my office, I had to take ibuprofen for about 6 weeks, pretty much every day, maybe once. I tried not to take anything, but my pain, so people can understand this. I would get this. I felt like somebody was pouring hot oil over my head when the pain would start to come. I would feel it start to enter my body, and I knew, oh God, here it comes. I'd run and get a couple ibuprofen, and I would literally, from my office, I would walk back on the back porch, sit and cry for about 15 minutes, just sob and just bawl until the chemical response would change. The pain med would kick in a little bit. And I felt okay that the pain was kind of subside. I'd come back in. So when I was I had my own gym. I'd go into the gym. I'm like, okay, what can I do? I can't even move it. So I left-handed. So then I could move it. So I wouldn't use any weight, and I would go to a level to where the pain was very sharp. When it's dull and it's sore, yes, and it's when you're lifting weights, it's always going to hurt to some degree. But it's something when you have a tear and it hurts and you feel like your whole body's going to give out, you got to hit that level and then back off a little. But then you hit that level, you have to do high reps, and then you do every angle and position you can that doesn't hurt. If it's very sharp, you just stop it and do another exercise. So I got to the point with, let's say, shoulder presses, that I could lift my right arm without any weight, maybe a little bit above my shoulder, but my left arm had full range of motion. I did that every day until I could go a little bit more. And what I would find is if I overdid it, the next day, my shoulder felt like somebody hit it with a baseball bat.
Yep.
So I would look and go, okay, don't do a push-up. That's what you tried yesterday. Give it 3 to 5 days and try it again. So I didn't give it 2 weeks or 6 weeks. I'm going to give it a few days. So I got to the point where I could do 1 pound, 2 pound, and you'll laugh at this, but when I did bench, I had my dumbbells. I'd take a 50, 60 pounder in my left hand and a 2 pounder in my right. If you've ever tried this, it's very hard.
That's really hard.
So unbalanced.
I was just trying something similar the other day. It's like, well, how much weight can I handle on this press on the other side? And it's like,
it's crazy. And you can really get hurt because you torque your spine. Mm-hmm. But I thought the only way to win is do it. So I would work it. And then I got to where I had the straight bar. I actually put weight on the left side, but not on the right. And I had to push all of it with my left hand. But again, I just tried things because there's not a game plan to this. There's no, I didn't see anyone breaking scapulas that have a 10-step plan to rehab. I was making my own. So the advice I give my patients is you have to push it as far as you can. When that sharp pain hits, back off a wee little bit and then go at it until a few days later, you push past that. And any range of motion that doesn't hurt, go crazy with it. If it hurts, back off a little. But I really believe that the system's set up when somebody hurts a rotator cuff, or if you went to the doctor and they said, well, you have some mild arthritis in there from all your years of lifting and little decreased range of motion, let's just put you on plan A. Well, plan A is a general plan that they put everyone on. Who is everyone? This is the 60-year-old guy that's never lifted weights in his life.
Right.
That's not me.
Right.
That's not you. So we
Right.
have to create our own plan. And that's what I advise is, you take what they give you, you learn, and just keep pushing it. And if it hurts too much, back off 5%, 10%, and keep going. And I think if you do that and you have that mindset is it's going to hurt, but it's either going to hurt now and you'll have freedom later, or you feel comfortable now and you're imprisoned with pain and dysfunction for the rest of your life. I was not going to be the imprisoned guy. I said, hun, I am not going to sit on the sidelines and watch. I'm playing, I'm going to hit, and I'm going to get hit, and I'm going to be fine. And again, she's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, wow, you married me. I am crazy, but it's fun.
The Bioptimizer mission is to help more of the world fix their digestion at a core level. The truth is, your digestion is only as good as your enzyme levels. Imagine trying to build a house with a tree. It's impossible. You need to chop the tree down into small pieces. Similarly, in order for your food to be used by your body, it must be broken down into a bioavailable form. And that's what enzymes do, converting protein into amino acids, fats into specific fatty acids, and carbohydrates into usable energy units. We start out with an abundance of enzymes, and that's why kids can digest just about anything really quickly. The thing is cooking food kills enzymes as they cannot survive at temperatures above 118 degrees. So years of this ends up depleting our bodies and leads to weak digestion. Taking digestive enzymes like masszymes, which has an incredibly high level of protease for digesting protein, as well as other critical enzymes like lipase, amylase, and others is a total game changer. Suddenly you strengthen your digestion, eliminate gas and bloating, boost metabolism, and multiply your energy. Most importantly, you fix your digestion at a core level. To get started with Masszymes and to save 10% on your first order, go to masszymes.com. That's MASSZYMES.com and use the code MASS10, MASS10.
I think that's really good. And just to break down a couple more things, because I think this is really astute, and I don't think I've ever had anybody kind of break this down. So when you're recovering from this, you're doing those, would you say that the most important thing to start is working on the range of motion? And then maybe when would you start increasing kind of strength or load? How would you go about breaking that down for someone like, okay, I've got this much, so every day I'm trying to hit this from every angle just to get movement, right?
Right.
If I heard you, let's say I got a shoulder injury, which I do right now, and it's getting better because I'm doing that. At what point do you start adding resistance once you've got full range, or do you add resistance in movements that you don't feel pain, or like, how do you break that down?
And again, it's kind of like an individualized strategy is so many people, when they have any type of pain, they stop. So again, if it's in the mind, like if I tell you, Wade, this is what I want you to do. You're going to work out with weights, push it as heavy as you can. You work through it. If it's sharp, back off, but do everything. You're going to push it 2 weeks. You're going to be strong. You have pushed through pain. You're going to be fine. Somebody else that hasn't lifted weights, just getting a weight off their chest hurts. They don't know, is that good pain or bad pain?
Right.
So my thing with weights and any kind of resistance is as soon as possible. I don't know how soon, I can't remember how soon I put a weight in my hand. I probably put a weight in my hand in like a week or two, which no one would have advised, but just enough to dangle it and stretch it and see if I could resist just holding it. But I was doing push-ups within about 2 months. I shouldn't have been able to do a push-up in a year. So that's resistant. So body resistance. So as soon as you can, you're gonna up the level of healing because you stimulate that muscle to a deeper level when you have resistance. And then the range of motion is kind of like just part of it. It's like it all has to blend into one. It's like you don't separate them. You just say whatever you can do it full out, go to your level, but believe that it's going to be very fast. So I have patients that come in and they're a 60-year-old lady that has never done training in their life. They get some type of surgery and I tell them, look, what did the therapist tell you to do? They say, well, they told me to do this. I'm like, all right, do that 5 times a day. And they're like, well, they just told me once. And I'm like, no. You do it 5 times a day, get adjusted, a few days a week. I'm going to show you some other things. You're going to be better in 6 weeks, not 3 months. They're like, well, they told me I can't go back to work. I'm like, do it. And they do it. And it may be maybe it's 60% range of motion because they've never done weights, and 40% some type of resistance, but they get the same healing and they get back to work in 4 to 6 weeks. And it's just crazy.
This is one of the things I think where bands are incredible, because you can really reduce the resistance, and you can go from all these different types of angles. I know I have a set on my roof. I have a gym on the roof of my building, and that's what I've been doing. It's like, okay, well, it hurts if I use this much, but if I just use this band and do the resistance, I get a little bit of pain, but it's not too much. And yesterday I was over messing around the gym, and I went to Gold's. They just reopened it here in Venice, sort of. It's kind of changed a lot. It's outdoors. And so I'm going around because I haven't been able to do chest during this 6 weeks that I've had this kind of thing going on. And I found some exercises where I could work my chest. You know, it didn't hurt. I had to do lighter weight, but more and more repetitions. But it's kind of like, I walked out of there last night and I was feeling so supercharged because I had like, oh, here's some movements that I can do. And I think these progressive wins along your healing journey are really important to kind of stair step your way from belief to actuality. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Every little win, you got to pat yourself on the back and just be like, yes, that's another one. And then once you hit that, there's no turning back. It's not like we're going to start and work up to that again. That's the new platform. That's the new level. So The next day when you go back, it's okay, I did these exercises. I'm not doing less. I'm building on that. But those wins, man, I've played sports all my life, and I love that. You know, when I score in rugby at my age, and I just turned 55. So my son asked me, how far do you want to go? And I was going to, retire from it and just coach at 50. But I scored like 24 points in the last game of the season when I was 50, had all these kicks. And I told that to my wife. She's like, you're not quitting, are you? I said, I can't. So my goal was 60. So I have 5 more years to do this. And so it's just like, we have to, like what you're saying with the bands, there are so many new ways to work out now. There with kettlebells and bands. And I have a couple pull-up bars in my barn, and I put the bands over that and I do rows. I can do one arm. You can assist doing pull-ups and chin-ups, and it's endless. You don't have to buy a lot of equipment.
No.
They can store right under your bed. The thing is there's no excuse. The excuses kill you. Don't have excuses. And there's no excuse at this point. Bands cost $10, $20 a band. You get a few of them and you can do every exercise under the sun. So
totally 100%. I've got a whole bunch of cool stuff, X3 bars that I hook up on my power rack upstairs, and you can do all these great angles with different things. And then I've got these cables that I use, these, and now you can get these little pulley systems for $100 that you can put over at it's really like, it's like the kid in the candy store. One of the best things that happened to me this year was when the lockdowns happened. They closed the gym, and I was so excited. I was training at Gold's Gym, which is like the candy store of gyms. And then I was like, I have no gym. So I literally went back to what I did when I was a kid. I built a gym in my barn to start working out, and I built a gym on my roof. And now I'm known in the neighborhood as the guy with the gym on his roof, and I'm out there in the sunshine. It turns out really great.
That's awesome.
So it's been beautiful about that. And I encourage people to go out there and activate your creativity around exercising and getting these things and trying stuff and see how it feels and get into the feel of exercise. And I think that's really important, Injury. I want to switch gears a little bit, because you just kind of brushed over it, but nutrition. And I think this is an area that virtually every chiropractor I ever met is very much more versed in nutrition than our typical medical doctor that someone we would go to who really doesn't have any training or very little training in nutrition and is very basic. What were some of the things that you do or you like to do to support your recovery and your overall health. Obviously, you're doing a lot of good things because, you know, you have robust health to the level you're an athlete, competing in a very, very violent sport. You know, like most people in their 50s think that's crazy. Yeah. But, you know, if you look back to the Spartans, Leonidas, when he went into battle, was 60 years old. And wow. A lot of people don't recognize that historically, people live these robust physical lifestyles. Even my dad, he's in his 70s. He's out, dug up a whole yard by shovel in a wheelbarrow. Like we have this ability to do this. Yeah. So what are the things that you key on nutrition wise to help you, you know, just be at your best?
I'm a real foundation guy. You know, it's, I don't like my workouts, my thought processes, get the foundation strong. So I have my own farm. So I raise cow and sheep, so lamb, and chickens with the eggs. So my protein, real clean, grass-fed meats and eggs. Sometimes I'll get raw milk, but good, clean protein. I have to have my protein, vegetables, salads. I don't do any farming on that end, but I get as much organic as I can. Lots of veggies, some fruits. I don't do a lot of fruit because of the sugar, and healthy fats, raw nuts, avocado. The eggs provide that. The meats provide that. Coconut oil. That's like my staple. So, and lots of chicken and stuff like that. So we eat a very, very structured diet that it doesn't change much, but it doesn't have to. When it's healthy, I don't believe, we look at keto and paleo, and there's advantages to all that. And some body types will respond better. Right. But in a nutshell, if America said, we're going to eat some good, healthy meats without chemicals, without hormones and steroids, grass-fed, like my cows just roam around, and we eat some eggs and limit the grains. I don't eat hardly grains at all. Eat some fruits. Seasonals is really good. And in the summer times, we have an orchard, so I'll eat more fruit then. Just basic food, what God provided us. I don't think we're going to go wrong. The problem is we are a very high-paced, stressed society, so we're on the go. And I hear this all the time. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm like, pack a lunch. I rarely do I go out and eat lunch, and I can afford it. I can do it. The food out there isn't as good as what I have. Why would I? Right. I can pack a Ziploc, throw a piece of meat in. Like I had eggs, like 5 eggs for lunch and a salad, and they were runny eggs because they're healthier. My daughter looks, she goes, "Gonna eat that?" I said, "Put some sea salt." I said, "Yeah." I said, "That provides nutrition and that provides muscle." I said, "That's why I do it." She just laughs. She's like, "But my kids follow the same thing I do. And they're cold eggs. I didn't heat them up. I'm just not going to microwave them." So basic foundational things, if it is from God and its natural source, it's going to be good. Once we start altering it, we box it and we can it and we make it fancy. Look at the chemicals. I mean, you get a bag of Doritos. That stuff would kill if I gave it to my sheep, they wouldn't even eat it. They're like, this is poison. Yet we ingest it and we give it to our kids. So we have to start basic, and we have to drink water, and we have to look at the chemicals, the sucraloses and the aspartame. I do protein and whey and collagen every day to supplement for my protein. So much of that has sucralose. You got to look at these chemicals and say, no sucralose, no aspartame, no chemicals, no added sugars. And we start looking at this and trying to get back to real food. That would cover most ground at that point. And then it
would be massive upgrades for most people.
And it's simple. It just takes work on their part to just be cognizant of it, to say, look, we're going to read labels. If it has chemicals, no. And then it gets hard. They're like, what do I eat? I'm like, you eat a piece of chicken and broccoli, put some olive oil on it and sea salt. How hard is that? So yeah, I'm a foundation basic guy. This is what I teach in my office first. And I find that the people that are searching for the advanced diets or the blood type diet, or should I go all keto? I usually ask them, well, are you eating healthy? If you're eating McDonald's every day, don't worry about keto. Just eat real food. Start there. So I'm kind of old fashioned when it comes to that.
Now, you've written a number of books, and a lot of people come to you to weight loss. I guess that's some of your components that you manage in your clinic. Can you share with our listeners what are some key things that you've learned in all your decades of experience about weight loss? Because we're in January when we're recording this, and this is about the time where people start falling off the New Year's wagon. They're 3 weeks in. You go to the gym every year, and I remember I worked in the gym for years, and we were like, okay, here comes the rush. And, it would sort itself out by February. February, all the new people that came rushing in the first couple weeks, they're gone. And there might be one or two stragglers, and then you kind of welcome them into the group because oh, you made it. All right. You're with it. So what are some of the things that you've learned in your career about weight loss, weight management, these type of things?
It's when I started doing this years ago, I developed my own program in my office. I didn't want to do it. I saw a need for it. The obesity levels are just skyrocketing, kids. And what I saw was there's about 150 diet plans. There's probably more. They're so confusing. And I thought, if we can develop something just to guide them for the first 6 to 8, 10 weeks, they'll set new lifestyle habits. So I developed that, but it's not our products, I think, are really good. It's not the products. And I wrote a book on that to guide them through. It's not that. Again, it goes back to the mind. If they have a mindset, they come to you and say, Wade, I want to get in shape. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm 55 years old. Get me in shape, man. You'll be like, I love it. This guy's going to get in shape because he's ready. He's mentally ready. We have to kind of see if they're ready for it. And if they come to us like that, my program, and I think a lot of programs can do this, is it gives them a kind of a little boost, a win that they lose 3, 5, 10, 15 pounds, maybe in a month. They're like, oh my gosh, this is for real. They believe. And once they believe it's possible, then they start to trust you and start going. But it all goes back to lifestyle. It goes back to, if they have the belief, the products, the game plan out there, the strategies, a lot of them are pretty good. There's a lot out there. It's I'm going to transform for the rest of my life. So my program, when I teach them, and one really cool thing is just don't eat breakfast. Do the intermittent fasting. It works for just everyone. If you want to start somewhere, don't eat breakfast. Don't eat until like noon or 2 o'clock. Squeeze those meals in short time and watch your body change over a few weeks. That's a real simple strategy. And we had that implemented in our plan years ago before this ever became a hit. I thought, I knew this somehow. This is cool. And once they come to that conclusion that this is going to be a lifestyle, my program is at the end is eat these foods. And a lot of people, when I hear, that's pretty strict, they're done. They're not going to succeed. If they say, I can eat this, they'll succeed. And I tell them, the foods I'm telling you to eat are the exact foods I eat every day. I'm not telling you to eat some Himalayan diet that you have to buy some crazy green mixture from a powder from this faraway land.
Yak milk from organic blessed cows on the Tibetan highlands at 15,000
and even if it worked,
yes, exactly.
How long could you do it?
I don't know.
So, and that's once they say, well, I can eat this way, they're the ones that succeed. Now, even if they fall off or they gain some weight back, they go, I know what to do. They go back and they say, I've been eating sugar. I've been eating more fruit. I'm eating breakfast. I ate cereal for breakfast. When they say I ate cereal for breakfast, I'm like, oh God, that's like saying you're smoking. It's like, don't eat cereal for breakfast. So they learn some strategies that just help them through, because I'll tell you, the chemicals in the foods out there are just damaging. They are weight gaining. They're chemical, mind destroying, hormone destroying. And the more you eat of the processed garbage food, the more the chemicals build up in your cells, your fat cells, it's very hard to lose weight, and it gets very frustrating. So get that mindset, get back to real food, and believe that you can do this, and then find a program that's going to help you do it. And then know that this is for life. This isn't, okay, we're going to lose weight so you can get to the beach this summer. When I work out, and I have a mouth that I run in my office all the time as you got to get in shape, Wade. Come on, man. So I have to stay in shape. If I'm yelling at you and trying to encourage you, I have to be in good shape. So I've done this long enough that I work out because I want to be a leader in my community. And when somebody looks to me that says, you play rugby at 55? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so if I can play rugby, you can lift weights for 10 minutes. You can do some push-ups. You can go for a walk. Come on. So I have some authority doing that, but it keeps me driven because I do want to live to 120. I do want to live to 120 without diapers, still driving a car and having fun. So
I love it. Some very good porps. And I just want to take one more step on that. How important, I know when people are often making these lifestyle changes and breaking away from their social components or their patterns of behavior, how often do they come to see you to kind of, keep their head screwed on straight in the early stages and then later on as they go through the transformation? Because it's a process.
Yeah. And this is a great kind of guideline. So, if you seek out a healthcare practitioner, a chiropractor, you look at x-rays of your spine, it's damaged. How long does it take? Is it going to just take a couple adjustments? It's all done. Well, you need to be adjusted 3 days a week for a year. So, and I hear this from different extremes. He adjusted me twice, doc, and I'm completely fine. I'm like, wow, he must be Jesus. I'm like, how do you, it's like, I said, Wade, I had 2 workouts this month. I think I'm good for the year. You're like, dude, you're smoking crack. It's like, yep. This is an ongoing thing. So when I see x-ray damage, x-ray structural problems in a correction plan, we do 3 times a week for 2 weeks. We do some in-house rehab, basically looking at their spine to focus on the weaknesses to get movement restored. Mm-hmm. And then after 2 weeks, we go to twice a week for about 4 weeks. We give them home rehab tools to support the structure of the weaknesses in their spine. So for example, if they don't have a curve in their neck and their head's forward and they have slouched posture, we have to put the bend in the neck and pull the shoulders back and allow the head to fall back over the shoulders. So we have specific tools in the office and at home that directly affect that. And then we go to once a week, and then we'll take an x-ray after about 24 visits, after about a 4-month period. In that 4-month period, we will see x-ray change every time. So it doesn't take 100 adjustments, but it certainly takes more than 2 or 3. If you're training for a marathon, it takes about 4 to 6 months minimum if you're even in decent shape, maybe a year. And you have to train, run at least 4 to 6 days every week. You just can't cut it. You just can't shorten it up. To train to get in shape to lift weights, same thing. It's a process. And once you get there, then to maintain it, my recommendations are anywhere from like every week to every other week, maybe every 3rd week. But because we have so much stress in our body, to come in every other week or once a week for a few minute adjustment, and they do their home rehab, their spines never degenerate. They optimize nerve function, which supports digestion, which supports heart function, which supports healing and immune system to get, control cancer. How important is that for a short visit to a doctor, so you don't have to go to your medical doctor and be a medical experiment with chemicals, drugs, vaccines, shots, and just, here, Wade, we'll try these 3. And the next thing you know, you're on 10 medications. So if you work through it and you get to a point of you're healing better, then you have to maintain it. Same with diet, same with exercise, same process.
Beautifully said and well illustrated. Let's go to talk a little bit. You've got a website, in8life.com. It's in8life.com. Can you tell me about the website and kind of your front-facing component on the digital world?
I have my daughter who I have 5 kids, and I've wanted them to be all chiropractors. Well, my one daughter runs my office. She runs my front desk. The other daughter does all my marketing. So she handles all my social media stuff. And we do a lot of promotion on chiropractic, on health, on structure, posture, the digital world, staring at a computer with bad posture.
Yeah, the texting neck, right? That's the big one
neck.
that's you see right now, right?
They predict a 15% increase in dementia at early age because of tech neck, the hump. And these are kids that are 3, 5, 6 years old on this. So our website's more kind of just a general, for my office and some teaching, coaching. I have another program called thepainfreeway.com. I'll make sure you have that link, but there's a free mini course on there that is mind, chiropractic, posture, structure, nutrition, and exercise, like the foundational basic. And it's a free mini course, free short videos, tons of resources. I send all my patients there and say, get grounded here. And if you get grounded there, then we'll talk, do you need extra strategies? Do you need supportive things? But get grounded. So we love to post videos. We love to on Instagram and do educational things, because I'd love to teach, and I love being on podcasts to hopefully inspire, motivate, educate, and maybe even get that mind saying, maybe chiropractic, maybe I need to see a chiropractor. And on my painfreeway.com is a free download for what should you expect when you go to a doctor? What are pain doctors not telling you? Like, should you have an x-ray? What does an x-ray reveal? I walk through all that process. So anywhere in the world, if you're going to your chiropractor and he doesn't take an x-ray, you could ask, doc, if you didn't take an x-ray, how are you going to know the alignment and if I have any arthritis? Maybe you educate them. Maybe you'll take their game up a notch. It's like going into the gym, and if I said, hey, I want to train and get strong, and you walk me over and throw me on the bench, you don't know who I am. What am I training for? What's my age? Do I even have range of motion? Maybe I broke my shoulder and I did. Maybe I have pins and screws in there. Maybe I shouldn't do a flat bench. Maybe I can only do, there has to be some analysis to say there's a starting point. So I'm very big on that education process. So anywhere when people get on, if they look at my information, they can be informed when they go out and say, you know what, I need to find a different chiropractor. And I find people, chiropractors all over the world, if I can find somebody to match them, but it gives them at least a tool to get started. So I love doing that stuff.
Before we close off, is there any words that you would like to share with our listeners? They're maybe struggling with their health, struggling with their weight. They've got an injury that they feel they can't do the things that they wanted to do. What would be, since you've come from such a wealth of experience, both in your own life, but also as a clinical chiropractor, can you share with them any message that you would tell them right now of what they need to do and how they need to go about it, to summarize?
Yeah. And let me offer this is I would love to offer a free consultation just to talk one-on-one. And wherever you are in the world, my podcast goes all over the world. So I've talked to people in Australia and South Africa, and I want to help, and I want to help guide you through this process. So if you want, there's no catch, there's no gimmick, there's no sell. I can try maybe help figure things out for you, because here's my message. You have much more in you than you ever imagined possible to heal. You heal through your brain and the nerve system, and you heal through your lifestyle. But you have to have the belief, and hopefully, at the end of this, you're intrigued with, dang it, maybe I can heal. Maybe there is a possibility. There is always a possibility. God made an incredible healing body. When you cut your leg, you skin your leg, or your kid cuts their leg, you don't call the church and put them on a prayer chain. You don't run to the hospital and say, please take care of my son. He skinned his knee. They would look at you like you're crazy. You're like, your son will heal himself. Just clean it and let it heal itself. If it can heal a cut on a skin, it can heal the heart. It can heal the lungs. It can heal internal organs. You have to have that belief. And when you have that, then you start to seek, and then you get fired up with, you know what, I'm going to find a doctor. I'm going to find somebody that's going to support my level of belief. And if you don't have that, you keep finding it. And don't, if they discourage you, fire them. You hire your doctor to help you. If you don't like what they give you, get rid of them and then find somebody. So if you have that belief and you have that mindset, great things can happen. So start there, believe, and then go after it. Don't be a sideline player. That's what I keep telling my kids. I'm like, I'm not going to sit on the sideline. I don't care if I go out there and get hurt and cut and banged up and I limp into my office on Monday. I'm playing this game of life the best I can play it. I don't know why I chose rugby, or maybe rugby chose me. It could have been an easier sport to be playing in my 50s, but it is what it is. I love it, and I'm living life. That's what we got to do.
Beautifully said. Dr. Aaron Tressler, the full contact chiropractor, with an inspirational message for all of us and a very generous offer that he'd be willing to take a conversation. Please check out his website, www.in8life.com. He's got all the, we'll put on the show notes here, the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube, all that sort of stuff. What amazing message, and so full of life and so full of energy. I love this kind of things. This is why I do this podcast. And for all our listeners out there with Bioptimizers, this is another edition of the Awesome Health Show. We will see you on the next one. Don't take no for an answer. Take your healing by control, because you are awesome. See you later.
At Bioptimizers, our mission is to fix digestion. And a cornerstone of digestion is gut flora. P3OM is our patented probiotic formula. In fact, we call it the Navy SEALs of probiotics. You see, strong proteolytic or protein digesting activity is paramount to having a healthy gut flora. And of course, P3OM provides that. The good news is, unlike weaker probiotics, P3OM survives the digestion process. What it does is it basically multiplies the good guys while protecting you against pathogens, or what some people call the bad guys. P3OM really helps to rebuild your digestion. And what that allows you to do is to maximize nutrient uptake, energy, and metabolism. To find out more of how P3OM can help you, go to www.bioptimizers.com.
Thank you for listening to the Bioptimizers Awesome Health Podcast. You can find more information at bioptimizers.com.